We both eradicate people.
Hello guys, watching Geeks and Maltese, another video, another review on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of Merlin again. We're on series 3, the finale now. Episode 11, 12 and 13 we're going to be talking about today. And then join us next week for series 4. If you haven't already, check out our past Merlin videos as well. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on today's video. So, episode 11. Competition. Fighting. Who's the best knight of Camelot? Massive people are fighting in this tournament. Who's the best out of the best? The king is fighting, Arthur's fighting, and King and Arthur actually fighting, and Arthur lets the king win, and the king realises that and appreciates him and crowns him like, you'd make such a good king one day, and this and that. It's so nice to see that he's been accepting, but also seeing the king actually fight and get to the end competition without any help shows how strong he actually is. We also have this wimpy person who is very parallel to Merlin. He comes up like Merlin did in the first story, and this is what I like to believe, that this character is Merlin if he was evil. This is what Merlin would turn out like if he went an opposite path. Now, we have this, he has powers, he uses it to try and gain popularity instead of for the will and rightfulness you should use magic for. So he uses his magic to gain popularity. He fights in the tournament, beats a lot of people, cheats a lot of time using the magic. And with this, Merlin confronts him, tells him a few times. He almost gets caught using this ring that he has, the power and stuff like that. He then gets to the final and tries to kill the king. Merlin has to stop him. And then he convinces to Merlin and shows, you're right, I shouldn't do this. But before that, he really turned evil and let the power go to his head. And it shows very parallel to what Merlin could have become, I feel. And I quite like that. That's quite a interesting dynamic. You know, they're very similar characters. They act quite similar as well. But he's a bit more evil, a bit more twisted, a little bit more what Merlin was like at the beginning, a bit cocky, fighting Arthur at the beginning of episode 1, series 1. Merlin was fighting Arthur. It shows that aspect of Merlin in this character, which I kind of like. I'm going to give this story out of 10 a 7.5 out of 10. Solid story, really intriguing. And now let's get into the Coming of Arthur Part 1 and Coming of Arthur Part 2. Part 1, basically they have this goblet. These knights, one of our loved knights gets killed, and you're like, oh my god, they all got killed, all our main characters of these knights, these side character kind of people, but they got killed, and you're like, whoa, okay. And then they undo it by these druids giving the cup of life, and then it's a whole quest of Arthur trying to get the cup of life. They get taken out and put in an arena, they have to fight, they break out the arena. Merlin, Arthur, and this Lancelot character, I think it is, or I always get it mixed up. Anyway, they go off and basically come back, and then you've also got the massive army that's coming, and the guy that owns the army actually gets killed by the woman after she gets what he wants in part 2, which he could have caused a lot of problems, so lucky she did kill him, I guess, in her aspect. But I would have loved to have seen him cause them problems that he could have done, but he got killed off a bit too early, I thought. Anyway, with that into play, they grab the cup of Arthur. Arthur gets poisoned, he needs to recover and stuff like that. He just about recovers when they make it back to Camelot, but there's an army been resurrected from the cup, and Merlin's been trusted with the cup, and they lose it, and then it's used to help with Morgana's ruling of Queen, and she becomes queen. She takes over. The king is easily defeated. He steps down and he's locked up, and then Arthur, Merlin, Guy, and a few other knights and Gwyneth have to try and save the king and get every Camelot back to the way it was. And they do this by the end of the film, the episode. And we also have the other person who does the magic. She gets killed by Merlin, I do believe, or she gets knocked out at least at the end of this. and Organa's angry and furious, and when everyone escapes, she's just disappeared, ready for Series 4, I bet. So she's ready to fight back, really, and this isn't over. And she was actually Queen of Camelot for a slight bit of time, which is very interesting. Does she still count as the queen? No one accepted her as queen. They all still voted for the king. So she never had anyone's trust, so I don't think she is queen anymore. The first part gets a 7 out of 10, but the second part gets a 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed the second part. Them all coming together in a massive fight, and the dragon gets to come back, and the sword gets put into the rock, which is very similised to the legend of Arthur pulling out the sword out of the rock, the stone, and showing he is worthy. And I kind of liked that. I thought it was quite a fitting end, and they could have ended the story here, really, with Organa technically defeated but escaped, and everything back to normal as much as can be. And a lot of people saying Arthur's ready to be king. I thought they could easily end this here, but they're not. It says Merlin will return, and I think I'm very intrigued to see Series 4, and I will be talking about that next week, so stay tuned for that. But let me know your thoughts down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to get the channel goal before the end of the year. And as always, we do Marvel, DC, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Game of Thrones, James Bond, you name it, we do it. This channel really is for everyone, so you might as well subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Have a nice day.